There are so many reasons why the MCU hasn't been the same since Endgame. From production and creative issues to legal battles and casting problems. I know you've all felt that post Endgame, things fell off, but you probably don't know just how many issues there really are. And that's what we're getting into today. So, how exactly did Marvel ruin the MCU? Connected stories. The Infinity Saga had one thing the Multiverse Saga just did not: connected, serialized character arcs transported to the big screen. When you watched The Winter Soldier, you knew it was just one chapter in a much larger story. If the story suddenly shifted to the Guardians, you were sure that they'd come back again. By the time Tony Stark sacrificed himself in Endgame, he had played an active developing role in 9 different movies. Over the course of the first 12 MCU films, Iron Man, Cap, Thor, and Black Widow appeared in at least 4 projects each. You were invested because the characters were actually present.
No, it's not like a person lifting the hammer.
Right. Different rules for us.
Nice guy, artificial.
You saw Tony go from the Merchant of Death to the hero of the multiverse. You finally saw Cap put down the shield and choose a life for himself. Each of these characters grew alongside the Infinity Saga, and the connection with the audience was natural and organic. And that's because they got the chance to connect across 6 films per phase that each focused on individual characters while building a central narrative in the background. Each film introduced a new Infinity Stone, or introduced us to a classic yet new aspect of the Marvel Universe, like Asgard. And each phase capped it off with an Avengers film. In total, across phases 1 and 2, you had 12 projects. And let's compare that to phases 4 and 5. You had 20 plus live action projects, from Black Widow to Ironheart. And that isn't even counting all the animated shows on the side. Out of all of these, the most prominent recurring character was Yelena Belova, and she's only appeared in like 3 of them: Black Widow, Hawkeye, and Thunderbolts.
Hi.
Marvel totally abandoned interconnected storytelling. They introduced characters like Shang-Chi and Moon Knight only to leave them sitting on a shelf for half a decade. Instead of building a core cast, they focused on mass content generation. And that's not a fan theory. It's something Disney CEO Bob Iger confirmed himself. And this wasn't a strategy by Marvel, it was a mandate by Disney. They had to compete with Netflix, so the goal for Marvel Studios was to become a content factory, to pump out as many films and shows as possible.
Marvel's a great example of that. They had not been in the TV business at any significant level. Not only did they increase their movie output, but they ended up making a number of television series, and frankly, it diluted focus and attention.
Whether they believed the Marvel logo would sell numbers or that constant output was the move, it failed pretty badly. Instead of a digestible 6-movie format,